article that has a 50-state report card on affordable housing policies that include healthy building, energy efficiency, and racial equity, and where the great nutmeg state falls on that list.
The nutmeg state.
We did I think we did a pretty good job, all things considered, and I think the listeners are going to be a little surprised how many states actually got some Fs in categories. So they did this just like grade school. They went A through F on it.
They did A through F. All right, let's why don't you break it down? How were these ranked, and then we'll give Connecticut's ranking.
Well, so let's see. Do you want to go? Let's go New England right here, because I think that'll kind of paint the picture for us. So we'll kick it off with Massachusetts.
Well, first let's just kind of give everyone how they figured this out. So the Blue Green Alliance Foundation created a scorecard for these 50 states plus 3 cities to grade their performance on 3 affordable housing criteria, which you mentioned was healthy building, energy efficiency, and racial equity. And so that's where they came up with it. But let's take a deeper look on what they mean by these 3 categories here. The Blue Green Alliance research state qualified allocation plans developed this report to encourage states to learn from each other and improve efficiency, health, and equity in housing and create good jobs. Our findings show that while some states continue to make strides in considering energy efficiency and the health of occupants, others minimize their importance by not requiring LIHTC finance properties to include these provisions or prioritize their housing needs. So on racial equity, for example, our research shows a majority of states address only a portion of areas that can reduce disparities and increase housing opportunities. Almost no states require incentivized labor standards in their QAP and only encourage local sourcing or local hiring provisions. Okay, so all right, there you go. Started off. You want to start with New England? Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to start with our state to the north, Massachusetts, because they seem to be doing a lot of things right with everything we talk about them doing businesses. So in the scorecard for healthy building, Massachusetts got an A. Energy efficiency, they came in with a C. And racial equity, they got a D for an overall score of C+.
C+ would have been good in high school, but not maybe the best score here. What did Rhode Island get?
Let's see, the tiny little state of Rhode Island. Let's see where they coming in strong at. They were a C in housing building practices.
Healthy building, yeah.
Healthy, sorry. They were an A in energy efficiency, and they were a B in racial equity for an overall B score.
Yeah, solid score for Rhode Island. Maine, overall score of F. We'll just leave it there. Maine, you're not you're not doing anything. Racial equity F, energy efficiency F, healthy building D. New Hampshire, overall score C+, healthy building B, energy efficiency B, racial equity D.
That surprises me about New Hampshire. They're all about inclusivity up there, so
yeah, in theory they are. Yeah. They like to talk about it, but do they do anything about it? Apparently not. They've got the D. Vermont, overall score B-, healthy building A, energy efficiency B, racial equity D. Let's do New York. I know it's not New England, but you gotta put New York in there.
You gotta put New York in there. Oh, so they did New York and they did New York City. So we'll do both of those. They actually both have the same rank for all 3 categories. So I don't know why they decided to separate them, but they both got an overall score of B-. So A, for healthy building, A for energy efficiency, and both New York and New York City received an F for racial equity to bring that score to an overall B-.
That's interesting. So Connecticut fared well in comparison to all these states we just named.
Absolutely. I'm impressed by Connecticut because we solid B, healthy building practices, solid B, energy efficiency, and a C in racial equity, so giving us an overall B-.
C being the lowest. Yeah. Overall score for Connecticut, B-. Only Rhode Island was slightly better at B. Beat everybody else in New England, tied the overall with Vermont at B-, and tied New York and New York City. Also tied New Jersey, just for reference. Jersey was B- overall score.
Well, and just to also point out that no state received a grade of A in terms of racial equity.
There was not a single
Not
state.
a single state. And they even added in New York City for that one too, right? We didn't get a Washington, D.C., but we got a New York City.
No, you got DC there.
Oh, we did. Oh, I missed it. Yep, we got a DC.
DC got an overall score of A minus. Healthy building A, energy efficiency A, racial equity B. Look at DC. They know how to spend your money. Way to go, DC.
Or how to pad the stats in the right areas, right? They might have some influence over these.
The 3 cities they took were New York City, Chicago, and DC. Chicago as a city had an overall score of a D. Healthy building and energy efficiency both came in at F.
Oof.
It did way better than California. California overall score of D. Texas overall D+. Florida overall C. Just to name some of the heavy hitters in the union.
Ohio with an overall score of A-. I always like to kind of throw out who did well on these. Illinois, A-. So Ohio, Illinois, the middle of the state there. And then Minnesota with an A- as well. And those are all the people that got A's on this report.